Okay, so everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David Baruch Hashem. Here in Efrat Baruch Hashem today, we have Lilu Nishmas for Shalom Parnas' mother, Malka Bas Tzadok Halevi, Shalom. Should be able to debate for Klal Yisrael and for you, and also a refuah shalema for Esther Blima Bas Devora. Okay. So we're learning in Likutey Halachos. We're in Hilchos Netilas Yadayim, and this is Hilchos Netilas Yadayim L'Seuda. Okay. We are in Halacha Vov, and we're in the middle of 68. So yesterday we were learning this amazing concept when it came with Korach, and it mentioned his lineage, where he came from, all of that. And it stopped by Yaakov Avinu. And Yaakov Avinu davened to Hashem that he should not be included in this protest that Korach did against Moshe Rabbeinu and so on. And we said that the power of Yaakov Avinu instilled into his children the covet of Hashem and Meloi Chalaretz Kevaydai, right? And we said that even, and we quoted that even if a father, whatever a father does wrong, doesn't affect the son, what a son does doesn't affect the father. So if a father is not doing the right thing, that doesn't mean the son won't do the right thing. And we see that in our time, that there are many times there are parents that are not serving Hashem, not doing the right thing, but then the children come back. Children fall away, and then their children come back, and so on and so on. That's all b'schus Yaakov Avinu. Okay, so this we're up to. V'aitzim koichai pol kol kach shekedusha zarei lo yufsak li'olam. Because of Yaakov Avinu, his tefillah and his connection and his covet to giving his covet to Hashem. It said Yaakov Avinu had covet also, but Yaakov Avinu's covet wasn't his covet. It was all the covet of Hashem. Shekol zaroi ad soif kulam yakiru v'yedu es Hashem yizbarach, that all these children until the end of time. Right now we're in the Ikvis of the Mashiach, right? The parsha is v'haya Ekev Tishmon, Ekev. So all the tzaddikim say this is talking about the Ikvis of the Mashiach, right? That's all. This is what we're talking about. We're in this time. When we'll be able to hear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even in this time, it's very hard. But we can, if we believe in the koyach of Yaakov Avinu. Unbelievable. V'yedu es Hashem yizbarach v'yamshichu adas HaKadosh midor lidor li'olam. Ad shafilu im achar. Kama doiros yiu nimtza ezer rosha mizarei. Even if you're going to find, after many generations, there'll be a certain Russia that'll come to in a family. Unfortunately, these things happen, right? We said that we even tzaddikim that had children, that they weren't doing the right things. Rav Chaim from Chaim Chernovitz, right? He wrote the Sefer Siddur Shal Shabbos, right? So he had a son that went off the derech. It's hard to understand these things. And he moved to the other side of Chernovitz. He moved to the other town. He didn't move into the little shtetl area that the Jews lived. He moved to the other side. And the story goes that every Erev Shabbos, Reb Chaim would prepare food for Shabbos. He would go to the other side of town, which regular frum Jews didn't go, but he went there, and he would knock on his door, and he always give him food for Shabbos. He always kept that connection with him. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know what happened in the end with his son. I don't know, but to understand that the tzaddikim, they understood, they see the beauty, and we never have to worry about it. There's always, whatever is going to happen, maybe his child didn't go well, but then after he'll have another child, and he'll come back again. Unbelievable. Rosha mizarei sheyirtze lahachris atzmai mishoresh hadas hakodesh hazeh. Sometimes you have a Rosha that wants to take him away from the das. From this das of knowing Hashem is Meloi Chalaretz Kevaydai, right? Knowing this idea that Hashem is running the world, K'may Korach, like Korach did. Aval pichein la yuchal la'akar ki im es atzmai. He can only uproot himself. In other words, we said each person's responsible for themselves. He can't uproot somebody else. Well, he may try, and he may be successful, but the next generation will come back again. And we have to remember this. This is so beautiful, right? From this person that's a Russia, can come somebody that's great, a great tzaddik can come from the Russia. And that's the way the system is. Hashem divided and set up this system like that. And we know this idea from the Arizal. The Arizal teaches his teachings are truly amazing. He said that many times there are people, there are Jews that live in the world, and they fall off the path. They fall off the path. It happens, right? They meet somebody. They go to university, right? Whatever. No. And they pass away, and they didn't do tshuva. So Hashem sends them back into the world again. That they should be by a nice Jewish family again. They'll grow up as religious Jews again, and then they'll fall away again to see if now they're going to come back. To see if now they're going to come back to make the tikkun. You understand? So we really have no idea. We have no idea at all what's going on. Nothing. We don't have any idea. We just see the surface, but we don't understand the neshamas and what the tikkunim that the neshamas are going through. We don't understand. So the guy he has his kid, and he sent him to school, and he's doing everything right at the Shabbos table. He's singing the Zbiras, and he's teaching him nice, and he's very nice, and everything. He's doing everything so good. He's doing everything, and the next thing you know, his son is he stopped putting on his tefillin, and he runs. Why? and we'll scratch it. How did that happen? It's a part of a big system. We don't understand.
It could be in any direction. It's not, this kid that went away,
yeah,
he can come back after not in a religious family to see if he's going to become a Baal there.
Yeah, no, of course, in I understand it, but okay, but this I'm speaking about what the Arizal, this teaching that I'm talking about is this teaching, that we try to understand why sometimes a child goes off the derech. We have no idea. Don't worry about it. In other words, Yaakov Avinu already infused into us this idea that even though you may lose one child, the child's child will come back and be and you see the tshuva movement today. It's unbelievable, right? You see the tshuva movement. It's unbelievable. Yes, we see so many leaving, but yet there's so many more coming back. It's so beautiful. Shehu kivoid Hashem Yisbarach ad shesoif kol soif yiskala ayadei zaroi, that through the end it'll come and it'll be revealed through his children, and that's the most amazing thing. You think this guy could it be his kids are gonna do? Yeah, his kids are gonna do the right thing. Yeah, shelzeh arosha v'akoifer yiskala al yodai. And sometimes that's the greatest covet of Hashem, that it comes from such a low place, and also HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings sometimes big neshamas into the world through people that are not the greatest people, the greatest things, And then we know the stories, right? We know the stories with let's say with Lot with his daughters, right? And then from there came Ammon and Moav, right? From there, right? And then we got Naomi, we got Rus, right? All these things, and Tamar, right? With Maisa, with Yehuda. These things we don't understand. Mashiach comes from this in the type of way we don't know. Chezeu inyan kol harishoyim b'nei hatzadikim shohayu b'olam, and this is the idea of the rishoyim that were born to the tzadikim. And the tzaddikim that don't understand this, they go through that, they go out of their minds. Well, what happened to my son? Right? But when you realize, understand, it's such a big system, and specifically the Rosh. Don't worry about it. Befrat Malachi based David, from David HaMelech, right? Look at his. He had some trouble with some of his kids, right? Right, David HaMelech, right? Malka Mashiach, right? But afterwards, comes back again. It works itself out. There's a bump in the road, a kink, and it works itself out, and it comes. Okay. Kamayachas haya ben hatzadik yosam shehu haya rosha gadol va'achas batei kinesios batei midrashas zebikesh levata la Torah mi Yisrael ulasalish chinasa Yisrael. Wow. Shezeh ikar pegama kovet, right? Unbelievable, right? They wanted to mamish uproot. What do you call it? Uproot Hashem. Unbelievable. To set up Batei, they wanted to close. They closed Batei Kinesias. They closed the Batei Midrashim. They bikash levata la Torah Yisrael. V'salei shchinasei Yisrael. They wanted the Shechina should leave Klal Yisrael. We davened in Shmon Esrei Amachse shchinasei Yisrael. They were saying no, take the Shechina away from. Wow. Shalom Rabbi Seinim Zchayin Levracha, as Chazal say in Yerushalmi in Masechta Sanhedrin, Shama im ein gedoyim ein tiyoshim im ein tzayin ein roya. Right? If you don't have, basically what they're saying is, you always, all the tzaddikim are known as the shepherd, right? The tzaddikim are known as the shepherd, and the tzaddikim have their flock. That's the Jewish people. Right, the same way we learned about Malchus. When it comes to Malchus, the king has his constituents. That's his people. All right. Wow, look at that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to make Mashiach from Chizkiyahu. Is that amazing? Now Chizkiyahu, he had Naaman and Menashe. What did they do? Shoyu Rishoyim. Look at that. See, they're showing you the examples. Great people like that, there was none. Asher Shov El Hashem, they came back to Hashem. On so many days, Ad Sheseif Kol Seif, Yetzu Mehem Mashiach Tzidkeinu Shetavar Nishmosai, Derech Kama Doires Rishoyim V'Seif Kol Seif, V'Seif Kol Seif Yiyu Noiled Mehem. So we don't know. We have no idea. We see these Rishoyim in the world, but we have no idea who's going to come from them. It's so remarkable in the examples that we have, right? It's wonderful. I mean, really to understand it. What?
Yeah.
What, you want to say something?
Yeah. When I was in school, when I was in college, there was a German exchange student who ends up as, we didn't know at the time, but later on it came out that his father was a big SS guy, and he was studying Jewish history. His kid was studying Jewish history, and I didn't realize it until somebody who I knew sent me a Jerusalem Post article showing this guy with 12 kids living in Mea Shearim, son of an big SS guy.
He was Megayer, and he became
his son. And what the story was about is there's a club of descendants of SS people, and they have fancy weekends, they have fancy resort. They all go somewhere every summer. They all, like a reunion.
Okay.
And he went there with his 12 kids. With his 12 kids.
With his 12 kids.
With the payalach, with the. They must have gone crazy.
He said that about half the people left after a day. They couldn't take being there with him there. They just left. They couldn't take it.
Yeah, because the Kiddush is so powerful, it just dispels all the garbage. It dispels it.
Wolfgang Schmidt, that was his name.
Wolfgang, yeah.
Wolfgang Schmidt. I forgot what his
Schmidt. Yeah. Okay, look, but it's amazing, right? You see these things.
I saw this article, my eyes about bugged out. It was like.
Tzaddik Kodesh v'Neira mi'oid ad shekol ha'geula tiyal yodai kemuva b'kisvei Arizal. This is all in the Kisvei Arizal. If you want to understand these things, it's in the Shara Gilgulim in the Hagdama. This is the Hagdama of Shara Gilgulim from the Arizal. If you want to understand these things, but we're bringing this. All this stuff is coming from. V'zeh haya kol inyan koirach, and this was the whole inyan of koirach. Shal yedei taivas kivoid atzmai. Because he had the taiva for covet he wanted for himself. All right, we said Yaakov Avinu's covet he was revealing Hashem's covet. Kairach was taking the covet for himself. He wanted covet. Chota mi'oidu mored keneged Moshe Rabbeinu shemimenu kol hamshachos hadas hakadosh b'olam legales ki meloi chalaretz kevaydei. So he went up against Moshe Rabbeinu. Could you imagine that? Unbelievable. Again, you see how the Yetzer Hara can really attack someone's mind, right? You see that. Korach was a very smart person. Let's remember that. He knew Torah. He understood.
He had a lot of data that said he was right. He had a lot of information.
I understand, but right. But that's the whole point. Yeah. You have to live for the moment now. Don't look in the future. Sometimes he was too smart for his own good.
Oh, definitely. Oh, gosh.
Right.
Pretty good example of that.
Until he became a kaifer be'ikar. Right? Because we said that the mitzvah of tzitzis is keneged taryag mitzvahs, right? The mitzvah of tzitzis is keneged taryag mitzvahs, right? You have taryag mitzvahs. The mitzvah of tzitzis has all taryag mitzvahs inside the mitzvah of tzitzis. And what did he do? He went against tzitzis. V'chol cheskas ta'usay haisa al yedei bonav shero shal sheles gedoyla yoytzeis mimeno. And all through, he saw that beautiful lineage that comes from him. And he said, wow, I see, I'm really great. Moshe Rabbeinu has no one great coming from him. But look at me. V'ayedei nisa misvara l'svara shel shikorim v'ta'usim. And then he went from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, connecting the dots. You know that thing, you ever connect the dots? He connected all of the dots, and he came to this great, big mistake. Until he was kaifer in the entire Torah space, like we said with the mitzvah of tzitzis, ubikesh la'akar es hakol, ad shegorim she'okar es atzmai min mikol kedushas avoisa v'kedusha. He took himself, he extracted himself out of all the kedusha from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, from the Avos Kedoshim. Val kain nidrishu olav kol shemaisam. Therefore, all the names were always, were like we said yesterday, they came against him to be for a genai against him. All the names of his forefathers, all of them came, but it stopped. Because he turned everything over to a genai, so therefore they all became a genai for him. So it should have came, hey, he even went all the way back to Yaakov. He should have wrote also Ben Yaakov. And then that should have been another drasha, another idea of Genaya to disparage him even further. He wanted to remove himself from that whole idea of Yaakov Avinu. He thought he was greater than Yaakov Avinu. He thought he was the greatest thing. He thought he was the greatest man. He had all his money. He was the wealthiest man. He was the wealthiest man. He felt he was the smartest man. He felt he's a Navi that he could see in the future who's going to be. So why do I need any of this for? Ay vay vay. Ach Yaakov bikesh al hadover. Bikaholam al teichad kivoidi. Look at these words. Bikaholam, in that kahal, in that community with Chayrach and his 250 men, Yaakov and it says, don't include my covet in there, because my covet is what Hashem's covet. Hainu she'etzem kedushim dekudesh Yaakov tihiyah mistateres umalemes oz v'lo yuchal lagia pegomai l'sham. In other words, that the pagam shouldn't go to Yaakov Avinu, so that way all the generations can still be connected to Yaakov Avinu. He wanted it infected all the way back to Yaakov Avinu. He wanted to bring the infection all the way back to Yaakov Avinu. Therefore, this nekuda can always be instilled in all of Yaakov Avinu's children. To awaken them b'tshuva b'soich oitzem hamachloikis hagedayla hazois. Right? Amidst the big machloikis and all the turmoil that we are, everyone has within them the koyach of Yaakov Avinu and the kedusha of Yaakov Avinu. All the shvatim came from Yaakov Avinu, right? He had his mita shalema, we said. Yaakov Avinu instilled this into each person, so we can always wake that up and conjure that up, that kedusha. V'chein haya b'soich harash hagodol shel ha'beliya sheshavu b'tshuva b'koychai hazeh v'nizbatze lahem mokaim b'gehinnom. Wow. Okay. The Bnei Kairach didn't die. Ad shemayem yotzu kol hashalshelas hagedolah shera Kairach. The children of Kairach were originally with him, but they left him. They saw that they saw their father went a little bit crazy, and even his children left him. His children left him. That's why he was able to see how there's going to be great people coming, because his children went back to Moshe Rabbeinu. They went on the side of Moshe Rabbeinu. He had the side of Kairach, and they went back to the side of, and they were saved.
Does your Sefer show where that quote comes from? May my glory not be part of their gathering from Yaakov, when Yaakov said he didn't want to part.
Parashat Vayechi, yeah.
Okay,
Kol hashashelas hagadosh shera Kairach shehem adoros hagadoshim Shmuel shegila likusei ba'olam. It was Shmuel Hanavi that was revealed the elikus in the world. He revealed Hashem in the world. He was one of the greatest prophets that we had. Avaloi b'koichai shel Kairach. It wasn't through Kairach. His Kairach came from Yaakov Avinu. It wasn't from the side of Kairach. It came because he went back. His children went back to Moshe Rabbeinu, which came originally from the side of Kedusha of Yaakov Avinu. Ki hu nevad mitoich hakahal ki nisha Kairach mikan umikan ki okar atzmai me'avoisa v'chol shemaisam hakadoshim nishitu olav negnai v'gam bona v'deiroisa v'lei kiblu adas hakadosh mimenu. They didn't get their das HaKadosh from him. They're not from Kairach. Ki adarabba, hu heisis gam oisam ad shegam heim hoyu b'seich machlokes tchila. They originally were in the machlokes with Kairach, his children, but because of the koyach of Yaakov Avinu, they were able to pull themselves away. Because again, we said what the father does is upon him, not upon the children. So that they realized that, and the children said, "We have to do what we have to do, the right thing. Our father's making a mistake. We can't be with that." The tefillah of Yaakov Avinu. Sibev Hashem Yisbarach shenisayru b'tshuva v'loy meisu. Hashem had them do tshuva, and they went back to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they didn't die. They went in the way of Moshe Rabbeinu, his children, not in his way. They went in the way of Moshe Rabbeinu. Wow, it's fascinating, really, to understand the backstory of what was going on with Kairach, his children. What was Kairach's real goal? What was he trying to do? How Yaakov Avinu when he was giving the bracha, and how Yaakov Avinu was thinking already about what's going to happen in the time of Kairach, and he was already planning and davening to Hashem that he shouldn't be included in that, so that way the Jewish people should be spared. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to understand that. Wow. V'zeh darshu Rabbi Seinim Chon Levracha Sham v'yikach Kairach she'osa korcha b'Yisrael. Kairach made this blemish in Klal Yisrael, korcha vaday, k'may sada sheyesh by korchas, sheyesh tevua upeiros nifloim. Karachat. Okay, nifloim. What?
Boldness.
Boldness. Yeah. Yeah, bold. Yeah. Upeiros nifloim mikan be'emsa yesh korcha korcha. Beloy tevua upeiros k'may midbar shamim. So you have a beautiful field, and there's everything growing, and then there's one spot that's a bald spot. Right, it's a bald spot. B'chein b'chinas Kairach, so too with the idea with Kairach. Sha'avaisav hayu kulam kedoshim. His family, he came from beautiful stock, right? He came from beautiful stock. Uvanav u'dairaisav, and the rest of his family. That's why I use the example of the field. You have beautiful trees, beautiful grass, beautiful things growing, but then there's a spot. That was Kairach, the spot, the middle of the field. V'gam kein tzadikim kedoshim v'hu nisha be'emsa k'may karcha. He was in the middle, like we said, like a bald spot in the middle. Al kenikra Kairach. That's why his name is Kairach. How do you like that? We said that when a father gives the name to a child as a ruach hakodesh. Could you imagine when Kairach's father gave him the name of Kairach, because what he's going to do is going to make the karcha, he's going to make that bald, and it's in the person's name. It's fascinating. No, I mean, isn't this not fascinating, Chavra? What do you think?
Easy.
To understand really this idea of the Gilgal on the Neshamas and how the Neshamas come back, and it's just wonderful. I mean, just to really understand it, and just to we learn to trust in Hashem, because we really don't, right? We have no idea what's going on. We have no idea. We have no idea. It's amazing, right? It's really amazing. No, but if we didn't have the teachings of the Arizal, you look at things and it doesn't make any sense. This guy's a tzaddik and his kid is doing this, and this guy's in Russia, and look, his son becomes a tzaddik.
Some guy like Russian can become like something from.
Well, they say that the children of Haman in Russia were learning Torah B'nai Brak. Like Gemara says, the children of Haman in Russia, his children. Like your story with the SS guy. What's the difference? It's the same thing. It's just amazing. Okay, let's go. We'll start the Samach Tes. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Let's see. Bata ma Moscow divrei Rabbi Seinu Zechon Levracha Shamu b'Medrash Yaakov Avinu bikesh b'Kohalam al teichad kivaydi shelo yizacha shemay b'machloikis Kairach. The Amasai, Yiskod Shemai, right? When was this? Kishehein misyachsin v'oimdim ala duchan ben tachas ben asir ad ben Yisrael. Hainu. Yeah, he's going to explain what this is. Sheyake bike shnei dvarim sheheim teluyim zeh b'zeh. Yaakov was looking for two things, and each one was interdependent on the other one. Kidei sheyishar kedushasai shal kedushas hadas hakodesh ba'olam lahakir es habayrei shemayim v'aretz. And we should be able to recognize Hashem in shemayim and the aretz, up and on high and down here. Like we said, the darei malta, darei mala, right? We should be able to always recognize Hashem. Ki bikesh shal machlekes shal kairach sherotza levatel hadas hakodesh hazeh. Al Yedei Shecholak Al Moshe V'Tayrasai, and he realized that through Kairach that he's going to want to make this division, and he wants to make this separation from Moshe and the Torah. Oz leYizacha Shemai, then don't mention my name, Yaakov Avinu said. Shelo Yuchal Livkan B'Shorish Kedushasai, so it shouldn't come in, so it shouldn't infect the Yaakov Avinu and what he instilled into the Jewish people, don't let this pagam go all the way back to him. You want to say something, Rishon? No? Okay, lehebech al aduchen she'oz taika yiu michsiachsin al shemai ben Yisrael. When it comes to the duchening, when they were in the Beis Hamikdash, the Levium had their beautiful klei zemer, right? They had at least 93 different kind of instruments and different things. It was amazing. And when they were doing this, and then over there, it went back to Bnei Yisrael. It went back to Yaakov Avinu, because that's showing Hashem. Kidei sheyeh nimshach kedushas datay shehu shayrish kedushas kol Yisrael yeh nimshach bahem. V'al yedei zeh yiyu lahem koyach legales lahara das ba'olam ayedei kol hashiras v'sishbachas shamer b'ruach hakodesh al aduchen. What does it mean they did the Ruach HaKodesh on the Duchen? So we said that when the Kehanim were bringing, when a Yid brought in a carbon, let's say we brought in a carbon chatas, right, a carbon oila, and so part of what he had to do is he had to say the vidui on the carbon, right? He had to do vidui. He had to put his arms down and he had to lean onto the animal and say the vidui, like when we do tachma. The same idea, right? You tell over what he did wrong. The Kohen would take a look. The Kohen would take a look at this Yid, and if this Yid wasn't really paying attention to, it wasn't really moved. He wasn't really moved by his thing. So then they would motion to the Levium to sing a more song of Rina. A more serious song to put him into the mood of tshuva. So there's a whole Ruach HaKodesh process going on over here in order to bring people to come to tshuva, to come back to Hashem, to bring them back to the Kedusha of Yaakov Avinu. Al came Bikesh Yaakov al zeh sheyizocher shemoi al aduchen be'ei shebikesh shelo yizocher shemoi b'machluk. He said, okay, so put my name over here by the duchening, because that's going to bring Jews closer to Hashem. But when it comes to the malchus, to the machlokes of Kairach, please leave my name out of that, for the sake of the Jewish people, not for Yaakov Avinu himself. He didn't care about himself. It was for the sake of the Jewish people. Don't put my name in there, because then we're going to bring the pagam of Kairach into the dead, and then this whole system, the whole system of the neshama is coming back, and all of that will be broken. It's amazing. Yaakov Avinu he already saw. Well, it said that Yaakov Avinu wanted to be Megala the Kates, right? Yaakov Avinu wanted to to reveal when Mashiach was going to come, and then he lost the shrin. He lost it because he couldn't reveal it, but he saw. But he saw already what was going to be in all of the generations. He said, no, wait a second. There's going to be a machlokes. If this is going to happen, if it's going to work out, it can't be that my name can be concluded with Kairach. It can't be. Ki zechira shemai beyichus beyuchsam ala duchan hu tikun lepagam machlokes shel Kairach. When Kairach was a Levi, right? So he was part of he could have been the guy singing, and he could have done all the things he was a Levi. But and the whole idea of the duchening, the whole idea of the Beis Hamikdash, the whole idea of the way it was set up was through Torah's Moshe, was the tikkun for Kairach. Shabikesh la'akar es hakol afilu nekudas kedushas Yaakov. He wanted to even uproot Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu daven, don't put my name there. Because I don't want this blemish to come to this place. When it comes to duchening and anything of Kedusha, Yaakov says, mention my name. It's going to reinforce the idea of because we saw it so much in the Beis Hamikdash. The Beis Hamikdash, where the duchening took place, is the place where we had that connection of the Darei Mata and the Darei Mala. Yaakov says, that's perfect. This is what we need. Lahayres nekudas kedushasei einay nifsekes li'olam af al pi shehoya be'emsa karcha shu kairach. And Yaakov Avinu was showing even though there's going to be a space missing. There's going to be a space missing because of kairach. It's okay. We'll still continue. We'll jump over that space. We'll jump over that puddle, right? There's a puddle. You jump over the puddle. We'll jump over it, and we'll be okay. Ki nekudas kedushasa yislabesh bezari, because his kedusha is enclosed, is in the fabric of every single yid. The kedusha of Yaakov Avinu is in his yislabesh bezari. Valkim bikeshu Paul eitzel Hashem yisbarach she'oz yichos bayichos aladuchan oz daike yizoche shemai, then mention my name. Ki zeh tikun she'al machlekes kairach shesham loy nizoche shemai machmazeh udvar lekeinu yokom liyolam, and the words of Hashem should always be upright. It should always be standing. Okay. In this idea, there's so many hidden things. So I'm just telling you, I'm teaching you a couple of things about this, but there's so much in here. It's so deep. Rabbi Nachman wrote, right, Zechron Levrocha Likutey Maran in lesson 17, on letter 7, in the lesson, Ala Pasuk, Hashem Yispar B'chsoiv Amim Ze Yulad Sham Sela. Okay? And then here we say, Masha B'yarnu Bazeh Kitzas B'hilchas Devarim HaYoitzim Min HaChai, right? Ayin Sham V'tovin Mirachoik Ma'at. It's basically the same idea, just this idea of how the kedusha of Yaakov Avinu is infused in each and every, and even though there's going to could be a problem in one of the children, but it's still going to continue in the next generation. And that's the chiddush, that from a Rasha can come a tzaddik. The same way it's a chiddush that from the tzaddik can come the Rasha. From the Rasha, it's a bigger chiddush that can come the tzaddik. We all have to remember this idea that we always have bechira chavshis. We have our free choice. And even if you come from a great family, you come from great tzaddikim, you have your grandfather, they did this. Right? Afilu im asidim lotzeis bimenu tzadikim. Even if from you are going to come tzadikim, right? Like Kairach had, right? Afal pichenu yesh loy bechira v'im yitev masav ashrei loy v'im lav oy loy. So in other words, we have all the choice to do what we have our choice, and our choice has nothing to do with our children. And our children's choice has nothing to do with us. We each have bechira chavshis. We have free choice. Mikol shekain kishesoymech aleim lechalek ala tzaddik ha'emes oy loy v'oy lenafshay. And chas v'sholem ever to go against the tzaddik. Woe is to that person, and woe is to his nefesh, to his neshama, if he go against the tzaddikim. Ki ha'nefesh ha'choites he Thomas v'ov lo yishan v'ovan haben, the nefesh that sins, he will die. V'ov lo yisha v'ovan haben, the father will not have to carry the sin of the son. Uven lo yisha, and the son doesn't have to carry the sin of the father. Right? In other words, we each have bechira chavshis. Right? You understand that? We each have the free choice to choose the right thing. And you learn this whole idea from this machlekes of kairach. They wanted to make that blemish, that splotch in Klal Yisrael. V'ayin le'el ba'oy zayin halacha zois sham v'aya gam kain v'inyan kairach. We're going to see more things about kairach. Okay, so we got a new understanding, a new appreciation to what happened with Kairach, and learn what we shouldn't do. And we could see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu again put the idea of tshuva in his children, and he saved them. He saved them. It's truly amazing how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is really running this whole thing and he turns on tshuva in one person, not the other one, and these people will be okay, these are not, and he has to. It's just unbelievable. You see that. So I always say that we should always daven for all people, all Jews, that they should do tshuva, right? That's always a good thing. And we said every Jew has a neshama, and the neshama is like a light bulb. So when the light is on, it's great, right? When the light is on, it's great. But if the light's off, it's dark. It's dark. When it's light, they're connected to Hashem. The whole point of us is to connect always to Hashem. If we connect to Hashem, we're great. We're connecting back to the light. So if you have people that are not there, that fell away from Hashem, daven for them, that Kodesh Baruch should turn on the light in them as well, so that they can also be connected to Hashem, so that way from them can come good people, and so on and so on. Okay, we can all do that. Okay, we should all hear B'sarat of it. Let's learn now. So tomorrow we're going to learn about Birchas Hamazon. It's very amazing because we learn from this parsha in Parshas Eikev, we have the mitzvah of benching, and we're going to learn about Birchas Hamazon Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow. Okay, we'll learn about benching. It's amazing. Benching is the only blessing that we have that's midyaraisa from the Torah. Right, all the other brachas that we have, birchas nenin, that's all the midrabana, and even the bari nefashos, and even the ala michya, that's all derabana. But birchas hamazon is min haTorah. It's an amazing thing. We're going to learn about that. Okay, now we're learning Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we're learning the dinim of Kriya Sefer Torah. Which is Siman Chav Gimel, right, 23. And then we are up to today Tes Vav, which is 15. Is that right? 15. Okay. B'tainis tziba shekoirin vayechal. Okay, so we know on tainis tziba every time we read the parsha vayechal. Okay. Ein koirin la'alais la'toyre ela mi shemis ana. Only on a tainis, only people that fast should be the ones getting their aliyah on a fast day. Ve'im ein kan koyin acher ela zeh she'einay mis'ana oy she'ein b'datay lahashlim. Let's say you have a koyin that's there. There's only one koyin. He's not fasting, or he doesn't have in mind to finish the fast. That's another thing. So in other words, let's say at Shachris, he's fasting in the morning, but his mind is not to finish the fast. He's gonna go till Chatzos. He's not gonna finish the fast. So then it's a question if you can call him up, right? In general, right? So then call a Yisrael or a Levi in his place. And it's better if the kohen goes out, because it's not proper for the kohen to call them kohen, the kohen sitting there. So they do that many times in a shul. Let's say there's a whatever, they have a function going, and there's a bris or something, and there's a kohen. So they ask the kohen to go out so they can call someone kohen. You ever see that, Shalom? Okay, it's not the greatest thing, but okay. Ve'im yesh, here, look what he says now. Ve'im yesh kohen acher einay tzarich lotzeis ela yediyah shelo yikro. Rather, if there's another kohen, he could stay there. They'll call the other kohen. They won't. Okay, fine. V'im yikru lo yala. Wow. If they called him up, he shouldn't go up. Is that amazing? I'm not sure this is l'maisa what we would do, because that would definitely embarrass the kohen, right?
Again, if the kohen is called up, he shouldn't go.
If the kohen wasn't fasting,
Right.
let's say it's mincha time, right?
Right. Okay. Good.
It's mincha time, and he's davening the later minute. He didn't fast the whole day. He waited till chatzos, whatever it is.
Right.
So he's saying, when you call up the kohen, he shouldn't go.
Right. If he's not fasting.
If he's not fasting. But I don't know if that's how we're going to actually do it, because again, we also don't want to embarrass anybody. Now, if he's the kohen that's there, and they call him up, he said, well, I can't, I'm not fasting. That's a big embarrassment. Right? Right? Yeah, okay, yeah. V'im hu b'sheni or b'chamishi, right? Okay. Afal pi shekorin vayichal mikol mokaim kiven she'ata whose man kriyas haTorah l'chein b'di'evid im lo yotza mibeis hakneses v'kro yala he could go up. Okay. Right. Okay. So in other words, either way, he has the right to go up. Again, I believe the reason is because, again, we don't want to embarrass. We don't want to embarrass. Let's do one more. Let's do Tes Zayin. Okay, let's do Tes Zayin also, because short. Okay, here you got a guy that lives in Eretz Yisrael, right? Shesham Aisim Yom Tov Rak Yom Echad. Right, we have one day Yom Tov. We don't have the Sveika the Yom, right? We don't have the Sveika the Yom, so we have one day. Milvad Rosh Hashanah, except for Rosh Hashanah, because Rosh Hashanah is not 2 days, it's a Yom Arichta. Right? When it comes to Rosh Hashanah, people think it's a 2-day Yom. It's not. It's a Yom Arichta. It's a long day. One day that's a long day. You know that, right? Yeah. Rosh Hashanah is a long day. It's not days. All right? Okay. Uva l'chutz la'aretz. Now the Israeli guy, right, lives in Israel. And now he's in Chutz La'aretz. He went to visit his family or whatever. He's in Chutz La'aretz. Now he went to shul on the second day of Yom Tov, but for him it's not Yom Tov. Right? It's not Yom Tov for him. Unless he's a Chabadnik, but they hold wherever you are. That's or whatever. Either way. All right? He's in the shul, it's not Yom Tov. Don't call him up in the Torah, because again, that Torah reading that they're reading has really nothing to do with him. But if they did call him up, he can go. Right? If they like he said, if they called him up already, so then he can go. If they called him up, he could go. Right?
I think it's only talking like the last day of Yom Tov. So maybe really
It's chol, right. It's already right.
Sure, he only has 1 day.
1 day, or it could be Pesach, Achron Shel Pesach, right? They have Chutz La'aretz says Achron Shel Pesach. By him, it's a regular day. He has to put on his tefillin that day. He's not going to do it in shul. Put it on B'tzina. But either way. Okay. So I think it's a Baruch Hashem. We see that the halach is so amazing to understand the halachas. But we also are very, very careful. I believe that's the reason why. If they called him up, he really could go up, because again, we're always very careful never to chas v'shalom embarrass somebody. That's worse than anything else. That's worse than anything else to embarrass somebody. What? Take them home. Take them both home. He can take the plate. Shalom wants to take his plate back.
The plate belongs to my grandchildren.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, of course, you have to return it then, right? All right, everyone. So everyone should have a wonderful day in Mitzvah Hashem, and we should hear B'Sayris Tavis tomorrow. We'll learn the halachas of Birchas Hamazon. Very exciting. Baruch Hashem. Kol Tov, everybody.